Good afternoon, everybody. This is Don again. It is a Saturday afternoon. I think it's around 4:30 or so. I'm a little late today because it's been raining. Actually, I'm sitting out here in the park right now. I may get rained on at this very moment or in the next 5 minutes. I may have to dash back to the car and finish this. We'll see what happens. But I'm giving it a shot right here, sitting out near the park in my usual spot. Some birds walking around on the ground right here. The river is full. The sun is trying to come out, but there's also a lot of clouds around, so I don't know what's going to happen. I am very glad to be here with you today. It's a beautiful day. Actually, I feel great. I feel like a 10 today. I've got some great news, personal news, but that's not what I'm going to share in this video. Today's topic is something I really like talking about, something I have felt for a very long time, and that topic is why love is more important than money. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback on this topic because a lot of people think money is so important. And yes, and I am not trying to downplay the importance of money one single bit. Money is an important factor in life. It determines a lot of things that you have. It determines a lot of choices you can make, blah, blah, blah. There's no question about it. But that doesn't mean that love is still not more important than money. And I'm going to explain why. The first thing I want to say is that this is a feeling that I have had for a very long time. And it's something I felt very strongly about. But before I came out here today, I did some research on the internet to see if my feeling was valid. And it turns out that yes, there's a lot of psychologists and columnists out there who agree that love is more important than money. This topic also sort of relates to my video from last week about challenges, because there's no question that being in love, sustaining a good love, making it last for a long time is a challenge. Love takes work. It happens. It's a fire that gets lit. It's a beautiful thing. But to keep it, to maintain it, takes work. And that's something I think is very, very important to stress before I really get into the topic. Now, there are 1,000 different ways that you could discuss money and love. But let's look at money for a second. Money, when it comes down to it, at the bottom line, is a tool. Money is a tool for getting the things that you want. And sometimes after you get something that you want, you feel satisfied. However, does that satisfaction last? How long does that satisfaction last? If you consider money to be more important than love, then you are never satisfied. You always want more money. You always want more things. And these things are temporary. They are ephemeral. You cannot take them with you. You cannot hug them. They do not give you solace. And if you begin to find solace in the things that you have, it only points towards your own emptiness and the fact that you have cut yourself off from the flow of life. A good love, on the other hand, is a constant wellspring of happiness, of joy, and it also serves to motivate. I can personally say that if I did not have the love of my wife in my life at this point in time, that I would not be nearly as motivated as I am to perform well in my work, in my exercise, in anything that I do. There's just no question about it. The fact that I have the love of my wife and others in my life, beyond that, but my wife primarily, means that I am happier, I am more motivated, I have more of a purpose. I probably would not be sitting here right now doing this video if I did not have that kind of love in my life. The motivation that love gives you is immeasurable, and it's so fulfilling. And I am so glad. And I remember, I think I may have said this in another video, I had people telling me left and right. Practically everybody I knew was telling me not to marry my wife back in 2018 because she's Chinese and she didn't speak English and she's not very well educated, blah, blah, blah. They gave me all kinds of excuses. And people told me they were going to come to my wedding and didn't show up because I was making such a mistake, they didn't want to be part of it. Well, that's been proven completely wrong. And yes, and this is the second aspect I want to talk about, love has challenges. Challenges are relative. Some people consider a certain challenge to be nothing. Some people consider a certain challenge to be incredibly hard. It's all relative. The challenges that I had included getting used to a woman who comes from a completely different culture and a completely different background than I did. And that was not easy. But the love that we had between us always carried us through any problems that we had. And that is the secret right there. If you love, and if you really love somebody, it will carry through no matter what. And if you think about this too, there are literally billions of people in the world who have practically nothing. And they are married and they have children. That's another question. How many children should they have? That's another question. But the whole point is they literally have not much, very little, but they have their love. And that love sustains them through everything. And I think that's proof positive that love is more important than money, because love is really what drives the world if you think about it. Yes. And here's where I'll get the pushback. People will say, no, 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 no. Money and power drive the world. Yes, that's true. They drive the ephemeral world. The eternal world is driven by love. And there's no question about it. And the challenges that you will face to keep a love alive can be significant and stressful. But the fact of the matter is that the stress of it is relative also, because if you keep in mind what the goal is, what the ultimate reward is, that the love will be sustained and possibly strengthened as a result of overcoming the challenges, then that effort is worth the reward. And of course, we can always talk about what the rewards of love are. And this is something else I researched today before I came down here. And this is something I've known already, but I wanted to make sure I could confirm it through research. And love relieves stress. Love lowers your blood pressure. Love extends life expectancy. There are an incredible amount of benefits to being in love. And money does not do that for you. Yes, money will afford you better health care possibly. So when you get sick, you can afford better doctors and that kind of thing. But is that the same benefit as love gives you? And I think the answer is clear. And the answer is no. That is not the same benefit that love gives you. And I think that has to be kept in focus. And it's funny, one of the things that we always talk about in the men's group that I am part of is the way that our women test us, whether they're our wives or our girlfriends. They test us. They don't even realize they're testing us. We take it as a test. We have to endure the things that they put us through and not complain, or at least complain as little as possible. And that book by David Deida, I can't remember the name of it right now, damn it. But that book talks about how a man handles the tests that his woman gives him, and the way that a man should handle it. And the demonstration of love that he gives his woman is to be the rock in the stream, to sit there and just let everything flow around you and remain the rock that doesn't get phased, that doesn't get broken apart, that stays strong and in the face of the tests that his woman gives him. So that is incredibly important to remember as a man. Now, I can't speak of it from a woman's perspective, and some women may get mad at me for saying that they test their man, but in reality, it's really true. My wife does not realize it, and I discussed this with her not that long ago, and she said, well, that's who I am, and that's true. And who I am then has to be defined by who she is, which brings me to another aspect of love. It has been said, and I've heard it said many times, that you should not change for a person, or a person you should not change for a person, or you cannot change for a person. You can't change for somebody, and you shouldn't change for somebody, and they shouldn't try to change you. Okay, I think that's completely wrong. I think that's completely wrong. If you care about somebody, if you want the love to work, then you change willingly. It may not be a major change. I'm not talking about, there's a degree of change. You're naturally, if you love each other, you're naturally going to change together. I wouldn't be able to tell you, exactly how my wife sees it, whether she feels she's changed a lot since we got married. But I have changed, and that change was forced upon me, and I had to adapt to it. And why? Of course, because as I said before, she's from a completely different culture. She does not speak the language. And, a lot of people don't face that mountain of change when they get married, but there are still challenges, and there are still changes to be made to your behavior. And if you don't make them, then your commitment to that relationship is not 100%. That's at least my opinion. I don't believe that you are fully committed to a relationship if you are not willing to change at least a little bit for the person you love. And those changes shouldn't be a difficult process. It's something that occurs. You may not even recognize it or realize it as it happens. You'll wake up one day and say, wow, this is the way I used to think about a certain thing, and now I think differently. Now I think about it a different way. And it'll have happened without you having to fight it. And I think that's another incredibly important aspect to stress here. The change shouldn't be difficult. It shouldn't be something that you struggle against. It should be a part of the flow of life. This is who you are, and this is who you're going to become. And if anything is constant in life at this point in time, as a thinking, aware person, you should recognize that change is the only constant in life. Everything changes. You are changing every single day. Your body is changing every day. I forget how often it is, but like, how often are your cells regenerating, this kind of stuff? You are changing every single day. You are in a constant state of flux. That is the only constant in life. The earth is changing. Everyone around you is changing. The economy is changing. Everything is changing. That is why to recognize the fact that you can change and you can be a better person and work on self-improvement is your main motivation. And if then that change then produces greater love between you and your partner, then that change is worth it. And that change, again, as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, should be an ecstatic, free, loose process, something that happens naturally without a great amount of stress. And if you make it into a great amount of stress, then your commitment to a relationship is not 100%, and your commitment to yourself is not 100%. Because if you make that change, and if you recognize the need for it and make it naturally, and realize that it has to be done, then your change occurs. Now, I'm not going to say I'm holier than thou. I have realized this over a number of years. I failed at changing at times. I'm on my second marriage, so I failed at a marriage as well. And that was all my fault. And I completely recognize that and take full responsibility for that. And that's something every person who calls themselves mature has to do. So if you are going to be a mature person, you also have to recognize that the change that comes about in you as a result of the pursuit of love is a beautiful thing and should be a natural, as Dr. Joe says, a natural, free, loose, ecstatic process. The change should come about in a natural flow, and it should be a great thing. And you should recognize it when it happens, maybe not in the immediate moment, but over time you'll recognize it as it happens, and you will be so glad that you made the change because now you have love. And love is eternal. Love is the driving force of the universe. Love is eternal. It sustains you. It is beautiful. You can hug the person you love. You can't hug your money. You can't take it with you. All things that are associated with money are temporary and ephemeral. Love lasts. Love is beautiful. Love is the one thing that keeps you alive. And it's amazing to me how much I have become a better person as a result of the flow of love between my wife and myself, which again was not easy in the beginning, but we have overcome the challenges that we had. Everyone is going to face challenges. Everyone is going to face changes. Everyone is going to face tests. And how you handle them as an individual, as a man or a woman, is going to define who you are. And do you want to see yourself as good, as a person who is mature and able to overcome those kind of challenges and reap the rewards that love gives you? Well, then that's going to be what you're going to have to do for yourself. You're going to have to recognize those kind of challenges and changes and take them in stride and make them a part of you, and then feel and know that you have overcome it, and now you have absorbed it into yourself, and those changes continue to occur, and you are now a happier person, more fulfilled, more motivated, more beautiful, more healthy. And that's a fact. And I can't stress more strongly how much that means to me and how much it should mean to you. And I know there are millions of happy couples out there who have been married for way longer than I've been, and they've discovered this for themselves. And they, that feeling of you can't imagine living without somebody. That's what love is all about. I know that someday I'm going to die. Someday my wife is going to die. I don't know which one of us is going to die first, this kind of thing. But I do know that no matter what happens, no matter how long we have together, I will always love her. There's no question about it. I don't think there's anything that she could do that would make me stop loving her. And it's what she does for me. And she does too much for me. And I tell her that all the time. You do too much for me. Slow down. I can do some of this stuff myself. But she wants to do it. And I accept that. And at some women are going to say to me, oh, well, you expect way too much of your wife, this kind of thing. I don't care. It's if I try to slow her down and stop doing these things for me, she gets mad. So what am I supposed to do? She wants to do these things for me. She loves me, and she enjoys doing these things for me. It's not like it's drudgery or a chore for her. The things that she does for me, she wants to do for me, and she likes doing them. So why should I stop her? And that's almost a change for me too, because I'm not used to being catered to in this manner, this kind of thing. And I'm not going to go into all the specifics of it. It's not important. But the fact of the matter is that this is where we have become. This is what we have evolved into. And that's a beautiful, wonderful thing. And I think that everyone should recognize how much value that has for yourself. And the pursuit of love can be a stressful process if you're meeting the wrong people. And I know that a lot of women and men out there date, and they see each other for a while, they break up, they can't find somebody, they feel bad about it, this kind of thing. Don't worry. Okay, if that's the situation that you're in, don't worry, don't let it get you down. If you believe in yourself and you believe in love, you will meet the right person at the right time when it's right for you. I believe that sincerely, and that's because I see love as the driving force of the universe. You are meant to attract love. If you are in the state of mind, the frequency that you are attracting love, you will attract it and you will find the right person for yourself. I believe that sincerely. It took me a long time. And the way that my wife and I met was strange, not the normal thing. We didn't meet in a bar. We didn't meet in a park on the street corner, nothing like that. We met a different way. I think I may have said it in another video. That's not important right now. But the fact of the matter is that if you believe in love and you believe that it's right for you and you deserve it, then you will have it, as long as you are not despairing over it, as long as you are not in a state of lack, saying, I'm not lovable, I can't find love, this kind of thing. Stay in that state of bliss, stay in that state of expecting to have it, stay in that state of believing that you already have it, and it will come to you. And that's what I had to do, and I tried way too hard for a long time to find it, and then it just came to me. And it was beautiful, and it's wonderful, and I love her so much, and that's what life is about. And that's, to me, why love is more important than money, because love is the sustenance that feeds the soul, that makes you alive, that makes you want to walk 3 feet off the ground. And that's why love is more important than money. Thank you. This is episode 22 of Practical Reality. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. Have yourself a great day.